We're going back to 1995 now for a review of Donpachi for the Sega Saturn, ported by Atlus from the Cave Arcade.
I am not taking part today. Do not wave the camera at me. You do not take me up to Blackpool replay exhibition, so fuck off.
Replay, we will come back to that in a minute. So what you see here are side by side the first loop on the left and the second loop on the right. The game consists of 10 levels. You play the first 5, you finish the boss, and then you go back again. And the second loop is a lot more intense bullet wise, and at the end of that you face the final boss before you complete the game. Yes, so going back to replay, I really wanted to go up and just didn't organise it. The weekend
You're taking ages, are you going to fucking kill him or not?
There has been an atmosphere in the Future Mat 5 household viewers. Going back to replay.
What an explosion, it's cheered me up no end.
Okay, good, so we can shut up about replay now. Did watch Ian Wilson's video, very good. And I hope all of you that went really enjoyed it, and I will probably see you next year because I will get my arse into gear. Anyway, going back to Donpachi, the forefather of all bullet hell shmups, basically. This is a good one. It really defined the bullet hell genre, pretty much put it on the map. Waves of bullets, big ones, small ones, fat ones, thin ones, etc, etc. This game really defined by the huge weapons and the insanity of stuff coming at you along the screen.
That guy was just asking for a brummy handshake.
We won't ask you what a brummy handshake is, will we? Back to the game. Donpachi, defined by its very, very good graphics, splendid weapons, and generally fast and addictive gameplay. It's got a very, very arcadey feel to it, so you don't really get as deep in as some other games.
Advanced bullet dodging engaged.
But nonetheless, as Gary says, you do require pretty pin-sharp reflexes to avoid the bullets. But because it doesn't feature any restart points, checkpoints, it is pretty much a relentless, non-stop quarter-feeding experience. So you don't really get that feeling of being immersed in the gameplay like you do with the likes of Image Fight X Multiply.
Pay attention to the bullets and not the power-ups.
Yeah, the game is very generous with power-ups. When you die, all of the power-ups you've collected are released by your ship, so you can go back and scavenge them. Donpachi has got a good reputation for its weapons. They're all good. You get 2 types of smart bomb. The cluster bomb and the beam weapon, just 2 of which you've seen there on the right hand side. Loads of power-ups mean that you're never far away from being fully powered up, and it's quite generous with its bombs as well.
Now he's throwing psychedelic tits at you.
In playability terms, one of my big complaints with the Saturn version, and obviously goes for the arcade, is infinite continues. Don't like games that just give you infinite continues. It's too easy to get carried away and complete it. But that's not really the point. Donpachi is a full-out action shooter. It's got great weapons and all the ships move around nicely and it plays well. So yeah, you tap for a wide-fire weapon and you hold down for a laser, which means that, you know, when you need to dodge in and out of detailed bullet patterns, you hold down and you can deal more damage. And for faster movement and wide fire, just tap. So you need to use your shots well in this game, which adds a nice strategic angle. On the left there, that craft reminds me very much of the Ginga Fuke Densetsu Sapphire shooter on the PC Engine. I think some of you will agree. A beautiful ship, beautiful weapon. And here's the final boss.
Advanced bullet avoidance tactics engaged.
So that's the only instance where the colour scheme changes. That's on the final boss battle. Slightly different colours there. And then, first time round you get this message and it restarts. And on the second time round you go through this little corridor and you have to fight the Wasp boss. I'm giving you some scan line action on the left hand side. after having been very impressed by Fagan RS500's Xianryu video capture. This doesn't look quite as crisp because this is just in standard CRT, and the refresh rate is a little bit choppy on the video camera. Anyway, less of that. On the right you see the final boss battle occurring before your eyes. That thing throws all sorts of crap out of its tail at you, and those bullet patterns, I do believe, were pretty revolutionary at the time. Although I do love the graphics in this game, my only slight complaint is there aren't any moving parts. And if you want an example of that, see the second boss in my layer section review.
Shout out to the Blummy Slug Connected.
So when you complete the game a second time round, you get this extra option page, which enables you to make detailed changes to some of the gameplay settings, like the difficulty and the size of the screen, although you can do that in pause mode. Now, it took me a while to buy this game because I'd read reviews where people have said looks out of date, doesn't stand up well next to more recent shooters, but it really is an essential if you're into collecting your Saturn shooters.
So then, my verdict. I'd sum this game up in one word. Fucking amazing.
So this is going to get straight 9s, a little bit like Cara Toynton on Saturday, although really not anywhere near as sexy. It's still a very, very good game and strongly recommended